What's up guys, Rick here, back again with another video with Adventure Outline. Guys, as you saw in the last video, we installed the bed rack onto the Diamondback for the CVT tent that I bought. The CVT tent is here. I just grabbed it from the shipper. He showed up, he was a super cool guy, and he waited for me to check it all out, because one thing CVT asks you to do is to make sure that you do an inspection of it before you actually receive the whole shipment and accept it, to make sure that there's no damage done to it. As far as I could see in my initial check from the truck, from the deliverer, there was no damage, and everything looked good. I did open up the box for the most part. I didn't see any damage. And that is something that CVT recommends that you do, and apparently by law they have to stick around for at least 20 minutes until you're finished checking the shipment. It did come in a semi, you know, just be mindful of that when you are ordering this tent. Let the shipper know. The shipper will call you. Let them know what kind of an area you're in. Most of us live in residential. I do too. And in fact, I actually live in a cul-de-sac, which was kind of hard because he has a semi. Luckily, there wasn't a lot of cars in my cul-de-sac because he came around noon, and so everyone's at work. So he was able to make a turn really, really quick. And I actually helped him with that. So guys, if you have a minute, I know you want to get your tent going and everything like that, but help the shipper back out, you know, and help him to get around. You know, I used to drive semi. My dad's a trucker, and I got a lot of family that's trucker. They always appreciate the help, so help them out. So guys, let's get to the tent. I'm going to start putting it together so we can install it on the new bed rack. So as you can see, I got the CVT tent here. It's open because I just got it from the shipper. And so I'm going to start pulling everything out of it. And I am super stoked. So let's get to it. Pretty sure this is the annex. Pop that on the side. Man, that thing is heavy, dude. What do we got here? These are the stakes, and this is the bag for the annex. Okay, and here is the cover. And here's the floor for the annex. We got the ladder, bubble wrapped. And I'm not totally sure what that is yet. I'll figure it out though. Okay guys, so there's a film, like a plastic film on this that we got to take off, and so I'm going to take that off right now. I don't know why, but they say to take it off, so that's what I'm going to do. Gotta love the SKELETOOL. I use this thing every day. There's a video that I did on this, like, I don't know, 5 months ago. It's really awesome. Check it out. I'll link it below. Alright guys, so the next thing I gotta do is put the rails on for the tent, and this is the part that actually sits on the bed rack itself. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And so you just gotta reach in behind underneath the actual bed of the tent, and then these holes will be exposed on the other side. Just pop a bolt through it, and then a nut will go on this side. So we've got our hardware bag. Everything that you need should be in here. These are actually the nuts and bolts that actually that put the rail on, and it's really cool. CVT actually sends you the tools that you need, and they're not the cheap ones. They're actually the ratcheted ones that you can use. So they send you a 10 mil. So they send you a 10 millimeter and a 13 millimeter. So really cool. I don't mind extra tools. I'm just ratcheting these things down, guys. And again, you don't have to get too crazy on them. Just, you know, hand tight. They are locking. These are locking nuts, so they shouldn't come off. You know, but on everything, you should always do, you know, a little maintenance check. You know, every few months. You know. So I got one rail on. It's the same exact process on the other side. Just reach around, and then once you reach around, the bolt will be able to come through, and just tighten them down. On this particular tent, I don't know if it's on all, but this particular tent had 3 screws that we had to put in, not screws, 3 bolts and nuts and bolts per rail. So we're going to do that, and then there's 4 self-tapping screws that we got to do on each end. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Alright guys, so one of the easiest ways I found to get the locking nut inside of here and stay where it needs to be at is put your first bolt in, drop the first nut all the way through till it hits the bolt on the top of it, and then do the second one, drop the bolt, and then do the third one. And the reason why you want to do that is because obviously gravity's pulling everything down, and you have to get that first bolt on. Otherwise, you're going to have to push it through the center. And if you do that one first and this one first, then there's no way to get the locking nut inside the center. So I would just start at the bottom, drop the bolt down, and then put the next bolt through, drop the nut through, and then the third bolt, and then drop the last nut in. So now we've got to take this self-tapping screw and actually screw one at the top here, one at the top here, and then at the bottom at each end. They're self-tapping, but it'd probably be a little bit easier to just get a small bit and drill a small hole first. But I was able to get that one pretty easily, so we're going to get to this one. And so guys, just so you know, there's no mark anywhere to tell you exactly where to drill. Basically what I did is there's a line going across this whole thing, and I just basically tried to match the self-tapping screw with where these rivets are, and they seem to be holding pretty good. So now I'm going to do the 2 bottoms, and the tent will actually be ready to set up on the bed rack. The next thing that we're going to do is install the brackets to actually hang the ladder, to attach the ladder to the tent itself. It's pretty simple. I'm going to take these 2 bolts, slide them through here. They'll come out through the other side. Just reach inside the tent to tighten them down. Kind of sucks. It like started pouring down monsoon rain over here. I don't know what's up. I love the rain, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the rain, but not today. I just want to put my tent together and be cool, but whatever, I guess, right? We're gonna keep going. My buddy is going to be here soon to help me lift the tent onto the truck. But yeah, it's kind of sucks. All right, guys. So we've got the tent on the Diamondback. That was definitely a chore. My buddy Adrian came over and helped me. Sorry I didn't film that part, guys. He was in a hurry, and we just needed to get it done, and it was pouring. So sun's starting to come out now, which is awesome. But so right now, guys, what I'm doing is I'm just tightening everything down, all the bolts from the tent onto the brackets, onto the roof rack. And so I got to go around each corner, do that, and then the tent should be totally secure on the bed rack. And then I'm going to install the ladder. I waited to do that just to save some of the weight. This thing is super heavy. This is definitely one of their bigger ones. This is the Mount Rainier. And so it's definitely a lot more beefy. I think it comes in like at 206 pounds or something like that. So definitely heavy, but so get a buddy to help you because it's heavy. But yeah, so I'm gonna go around, tighten everything up, put the ladder on, and then hopefully I'll have enough sunlight out and it won't rain anymore that I can deploy the whole thing and set it up and check it out for the first time. So the tent's going to come with about 8 of these brackets that slide into this channel here. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to slide one on each side. And it also depends on what kind of a rack system that you have. If you have something like the, I don't know, the CBI roof rack, those actually have holes in them throughout the rack, I think. And you can actually just take a bolt and go right through. I don't have that, so we're putting one on each end. And then this bracket with both of these holes right here, my bars are pretty wide, so I'm actually using the 2 holes on the ends here. And basically this just goes right underneath here, like that. Then you take your locking nut, put it in, and that's how the tent stays on. It's important, guys, to make sure that you have the right bolts. These are just barely long enough. I may actually get some longer ones just by a little bit. I would say I would be happy with another 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch longer on these bolts here. But for now, these will hold up. I'm getting some thread on the other end once I have them all good to go. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep tightening these things down. All right, guys. So as you can see, I've got the tent all mounted up. So right now I'm gonna open it up and set up the ladder. Because you have to drill holes exactly where you need the ladder to be unless the holes that came with it line up perfectly. So that's what we're going to do right now. Alright, guys, so I've figured out exactly where I want the holes to be, and so now I'm going to drill them in. And we should be good to go. All right, guys, so that is the installation of the bed rack with the CVT tent. Works great, and I'm super stoked. Guys, if you like this video, please kick that subscribe button, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and as always, I'll see you next time right here on Adventure Outline.